of Let's Talk Dog.
Talk.
And this is our third episode.
Wow.
Today's episode, we have two new guests. One is the famous Gully Boys. Sorry, ladies, a boy runs that account. So that's Aditya.
Hi,
And
Aditya.
the famous Tug and Shred crew
Thank
from
you.
Bangalore. That's
Thank you,
Imran
thank
and
you.
Bashir. So
Thank you.
that's the two guests that we have today. And since we have like these two very special guests, you must be wondering what our topic for the day is.
Yeah.
And today we are going to be talking about Richa's favorite topic. Richa, do you want to tell us about it?
हाँ ये दिल के करीब मतलब और दुख है मेरा ये जीवन का. So we're gonna talk about, so in the last two episodes we covered how to adopt a dog, and when you adopted a dog, what to expect when the dog comes home. Okay. So and in the last we discussed why it is so important to choose the right adoption coordinator from whom you're gonna adopt the dog. Okay.
Hmm.
We're gonna listen from the two brilliant men here. They are the rescuers, they are the adoption coordinators. We're gonna listen their perspective, their part, on what basis they choose their adopters, what are the things they do before they put the dog for adoption. Basically the process they will take you through, so that you understand how much effort and work it is that behind this whole, before the dog comes for adoption, कितना काम exactly होता है एक कुत्ते के पीछे. And we are talking about so many dogs who got adopted by these two men. So how much work it is basically to adopt them before the dog comes up for adoption. So Nimisha, you are the moderator today. Take it.
Yeah. So since today even Richa ने जैसे कहा है कि वो भी आज कुछ दुख बांटना कुछ आएगी. So today we have
बढ़िया.
Richa who will be like a speaker among us, and I'll try and coordinate this entire session. So why don't we start with a quick introduction with both Gully Boys and the Tug and Shred crew.
Okay,
Who wants to
so
take it first? Aditya. Yeah. go
Aditya,
for it.
take the mic. हाँ जी.
okay, so my name is Aditya and I'm running Gully Boys since 2019, but I've started doing this like rescue work and feeding since 2015. And but before that, like I used to take care of one indie back in 2011 and stuff. So that's how I started, doing like work for strays and stuff. It happened very gradually and slowly. And the main reason to start Gully Boys was because we had this one dog, like a 3-year-old dog with a really bad skin problem. And she needed to be adopted. And I was like tired of getting in touch with influencers and people. Like I was like tired of asking people to share and stuff. And like, of course, I know how difficult adoptions are. So I thought that I might as well start my own page and try to make it popular and then try and help out with adoptions. So yeah, that's how I started the page.
Nice.
And
Great thing.
and the ladies, जिसको लगता है ये 18 साल का लौंडा है, नहीं.
Yes. Not 19.
Imran, do you want to tell us about your
Yeah,
page?
hi. Yeah, so I am a doctor. I have done my BDS, that is Bachelor of Dental Surgery. Then I practiced for 6 months. तो उसके बाद मैंने कुछ practice नहीं किया. Then I came down to Bangalore where my brother was studying, completing his engineering graduation. So there we adopted our first dog, an Indie Kibo, in the late 2016. Or then we adopted our second dog, Abby, who, that's a different story. Then वही time पे कोई 3 puppies को they had abandoned in a gunny sack in an empty layout beside our home. And we never knew about any welfare or anything in Bangalore since we were new here. So those 3 puppies we brought home. Then one of the puppy passed away from tick fever at home itself. Then both of them got parvo. Then we had to push ourselves, get them treated at our home, and then they were our first adoptions. So from 2016 till 2021, so it has been a journey, and now we have 4 dogs. And the main purpose of starting this page was pushing for adoptions and making people aware that indies are actually good dogs, and you should not limit yourselves to not adopt from streets. You should leave the adoptions in the better hands if you're not sure about that, but you should always keep your homes open. So वही हमारा plan था.
Thank you so much, Imran, for that. So I just want to very quickly say that the Tug and Shred crew is actually run by Imran and his brother Brashi. Both of them together
Yes.
run the page. And today we have Imran, or rather, should I say Dr. Imran with us?
Imran
And
Kapoor.
Imran, yes. So now we know that one of them runs this entire thing in Mumbai, and one of them is from Bangalore. So we are going to quickly ask them what kind of experiences they have faced. We will also go through the process and try and understand why why it is important to have an adoption coordinator. Like I said, in the last episode, that even the baddest hockey team needed like a Shah Rukh Khan to like get them that trophy in Chak Day. So this is what is the entire plan. Like, why do you need that adoption coordinator? So, Aditya and Imran, can you like tell us how many adoptions you guys have had made them happen, and how did you get into this?
Okay. So honestly, I don't count the number of adoptions I get done because I mean I just don't like to count it. And but I've had more luck with I've had more like successful adoptions with cats. And so yeah, I basically I started the adoptions very late. I wasn't like I mean I hate doing adoptions, but because it's like a lot of people to deal with and stuff, and it's like really annoying. And like honestly, I don't get half the shit as women do. Like I don't get half the unnecessary spam calls and the lewd messages and whatnot. So I mean, it's much easier for me, but still, it's like still I really hate that part. Like I know I'm starting off on a very negative note, but it's also the most satisfying. It's also the most satisfying bit, you know, when you see like a pup, like some adoptions go really well, and you know when you see them grow up and stuff, it's like a really satisfying feeling. So yeah, and I mean like I didn't start adoptions by choice. No one I think starts getting into adoptions by choice. It's
Oh,
just
never,
like
never.
you just like it just happens naturally, and when you're like feeding or taking care of indies and you
True.
see a puppy, so you're like, okay, at least I'll try, you know, it's better than letting the puppy on the road, so you try. And obviously like no one gets I don't it's like very rare that people have a higher success rate than at least like for rescuers, you know, like of course the rescue coordinators are primarily looking at options. So but still like for me I think it's really like difficult for like adoptions in the way that uh yeah I'm sorry I've like lost my trail of thought only. but but yeah basically I
No,
started
no,
with
I,
very
I,
mainly.
I agree with Aditya. Nobody actually starts adoption by choice. It just
I
happens.
Yeah.
agree. True that.
So I basically started off adoptions very late. Like, in fact, I myself used to get in touch with adoption coordinators or like these NGOs to like ask and you know try and help me to put up my puppies and cats for kittens for adoptions. And then I just saw that it's you know there's only so much that like they can do or like you can reach out because there's so many puppies and cats. So then I just like and then slowly when you're like more invested, then you yourself try and you know scout out for the right home for right people and stuff, you know. So and they are your rescue, so then you feel like responsible. So you want them to go to the best house, and that's how I started off. I actually started off adoptions in like 17, and then I didn't do any adoptions till like 19 end. And then now like this year in 20 I've done a lot of adoptions. So but I've not counted, so I don't have a number.
Oh wow! Okay, I like a man who's not chasing a number. That's such a nice story. Imran, if you could tell us the same.
Yeah, see, when you texted me on WhatsApp asking me, are we adoption coordinators? I very clearly told you that we are not. See, there are many people who call themselves as adoption coordinators, where they are very much interested, and I respect that they do their job very earnestly, where they're interested in taking up pictures, taking up cases who are not finding homes, and then they go and search for homes. So it's an advantage for those indie pups. All the adoption that me and my brother Bashar have done are all of our rescues only. See, once we pick up a case and if we find that dog can't be rehabilitated back on streets, we make it a point that the dog goes home. That's our main aim. And we came to adopt Kibo after being rejected by adoption coordinators to not take home a dog because we both were bachelors and we both weren't working. See, I don't even work now. I run a pet bakery and I haven't even had any stable job. And I'm very much happy doing this welfare work and being happy with dogs and my baking items. The thing is, we started adoptions by deciding that any rescue dog that comes to us, and if someone is looking for a home, such as a first-time pet parent, they shouldn't feel apprehended that they can't adopt a dog. That's it. हम ज्यादा सर नहीं फोड़ते, ज्यादा दिमाग नहीं खराब करते. इतना हुआ कि there have been people who have adopted dogs from us 3 years ago, who still keep in touch with us, sending regular pics, sending regular updates. If they have any issues, they call us up. So it बस उतना ही है कि feeling happy that the dog which we rescued, हमने वापस स्ट्रीट पे नहीं छोड़ा, घर भेज दिया बस.
खुश है
Apart
वो.
from that, yeah, बस खुश है. Apart from that, there are many people who request us to do coordination, but I straight away tell, मेरे पास बहुत वेलफेयर का काम है, अडॉप्शन आप कर लो.
नहीं,
चाहे
पर वो
वो
सही सही बोल रहा है,
वो
बिकॉज
सही भी है.
सही भी है. आपका रेस्क्यू आपके अलावा कोई और नहीं जानता. मतलब
Exactly,
आपके
exactly.
डॉग को, आपके कैट को कोई और नहीं जानता आपसे
हाँ,
अच्छा. So it's
exactly.
better you do it rather than asking other people to do it, you know. So it's always थोड़ा
Yeah, but-
time लगता है. Like there is always, like when I put up my dogs for adoption, so I have this funda that I take one dog at a time. I pick up one dog. मतलब मैं
Yes.
पीछे नहा धो के पड़ जाती हूँ उस कुत्ते के. जब तक घर नहीं जाएगा तब तक ये कुत्ता मेरे सर के, बस सबकी छाती पे बैठ के, सबके इंस्टाग्राम फेसबुक सबके रोज शक्ल देखेंगे लोग इसकी, पर जब तक ये जाएगा नहीं तब तक मैं छोड़ूंगी नहीं किसी को.
सही है.
Because I know the dog.
सही.
I know the dog. मेरे से अच्छा कोई नहीं जानता, और मुझे मालूम है कि मुझे कैसा घर चाहिए. अब मुझे मालूम है तो मैं किसी और को बोलूंगी तो वो कैसा घर ढूंढ के देगा. And if something goes wrong, ना, that guilt, oh my god, oh
No,
God.
that doesn't let you sleep also.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
there's other thing also, like our team, Tagdan Shark, we both usually push dogs who are on streets itself.
Yeah.
जब पपीज बड़े हो जाते हैं तो हम उनका वैक्सीनेट करा के ऐसा नहीं करते, उनको फॉस्टर घर भेज दो. देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु डू दैट. सी इफ यू पिक अप अ डॉग फ्रॉम द स्ट्रीट और 3 महीने का हो गया, 4 महीने का हो गया, देन पीपल स्टार्ट पुटिंग अप पोस्ट, नाउ द डॉग हैज टू गो होम, हेल्प अस, we can't leave them back on the streets. You are spoiling a street dog's life to adapt on the streets. So you need to know how a puppy's personality and development traits are on street itself, so that you can give the dog a proper home. क्योंकि street से अगर directly घर पे जा रहा है वो, तो हम सबको पता है कि ना, the dog is not trained or anything. So those things we are happy doing it. क्योंकि adoption coordination में puppy को ले आना बिना picking up a healthy puppy, healthy dog, simply pushing for the adoption is not what we look for. So we keep the adoption coordination to ourselves and our rescues and our duties itself. Yeah.
Okay. I think like Imran has actually touched upon a very important thing, which we were going to ask next, was like, you know, when you put up an adoption appeal, what do you look for? Like, not only in what are your assessment, or like on what basis do you do the assessments on the cat, the dog that's going in for adoption, as well as the family that you're choosing for.
No, I really
So,
want to start. Nimisha, let's start with this. When, let's say you got a cat and a dog. Okay.
Okay.
What are the processes? Let's just take us through the process. How you get the dog or the cat get ready for the adoption.
Yeah, so basically like the way I do it is that, I mean, if there's a kitten or a puppy that's like really friendly, or puppies are obviously very friendly, but if there's a kitten, you know, then like if they come in the hand, then I try and like foster them at home, see how they're doing, and most of the times they get okay in a couple of days. So my process is basically, I start off with taking them to the vet, getting them checked, vaccinations, deworming, you know, just getting them house trained as much as possible, so that, you know, whenever they go home, like that behavioral issue shouldn't come up for the cat or the dog. So that's one of my main like things to do when I'm looking for adoptions, basically. But having said that, like there's not too many processes that I follow. It's just mainly that just making sure that the puppy is healthy, getting like the blood test, getting everything done so that it's a healthy pup. You know, most of the people I have seen, they always like, ये road का dog है, ये बीमार है क्या, क्यों adoption के लिए डाल रहे हो? You know, like they ask these questions like, why are you putting it up for adoption? So I'm like, I mean, like sometimes you don't have an answer, but what do you mean, like, why are you putting it up for adoption? Because it's better to get them a home. But yeah, but like people ask these questions, and then like they're very scared about people handing over sick dogs, which happens actually a lot. Like a lot of bad adoption coordinators do not reveal enough information about the pet.
Yeah.
So they, like, I have actually seen distemper pups going up for adoption. So yeah,
Bad, man.
it's really bad. So which is why obviously like I'm like very patiently answer everything they have to, and that's my process of like how to get the animal ready. And I just feel like it's much better like when they're at home, because that just improves the chances of the puppy or the kitten like way more. Because like off the road, I don't know, it's for some reason it doesn't work only, in my opinion. Like very rarely does it work only. Like I've only seen it like once or twice where it's just like I put up like posts from the road and an adoption's gone through.
No, it's a fluke.
But this is for cats, huh? Like puppies need a home and
Yeah.
they need a little time to break into stuff. Like
Yeah.
cats are like totally a different ball game only.
Right. You want to talk something about the cats also and like throw some light on it? I know we are let's talk dogs, but go feel free to talk about the cats as well.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. As in like in what way? In like how adoption goes through? It's similar.
Yeah, like the process.
So it's similar. Obviously, like I for grown-up cats, I don't bother with adoptions because even when I definitely put up one post trying to just see, okay, like kuch lag gaya to times, but I genuinely do it with no hope because uh, unfortunately, grown-up cats have zero. Like I mean, your friend was fostering Victoria, and I mean, we like a lot. Like I post it quite regularly, and you don't get any leads. It's like nearly impossible. But for dogs, I generally feel like first of all, understanding the personality of the dog is really important, or the cat,
Hmm.
because then you can uh, approach people and like weed people out much faster, so that you know, okay, like so like Richa said before the recording started, like she works on a lot of like gut feelings, which is what even I do. Like once you know the animal, you know how the behavior is, and when you speak to a person, you ask them, okay, I ask them what they're expecting, like what sort of a dog are you looking at, like what is your image, like because some people are like they want a very well behaved dog or whatever. Some people are like, no, we want to like play, we have kids. And so you get a really good understanding that of which personality is how, who is more playful, who's like, so that's one thing I really like making sure of. And then like, of course, like if there's any behavioral issue or like there's any aggression problem, or like if I've noticed anything with food, then I am the first one to tell them that these are the issues that I have seen. They're all workable with training, but there are issues that can crop up. And if they're scared about those things and they back off, then so be it. It's better than you know it's better that that adoption doesn't go through rather than them being unhappy and the pup being unhappy. So
Right.
that's like my only process that I'm following basically.
I think we all follow the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost.
It's
Yeah,
similar.
it's the same. It's same itself. The main important thing what Aditya stressed is the knowing about the personality of the dog what we are sending home is. क्योंकि बहुत सारे टाइम सिर्फ अगर प्रोसेस में सिर्फ हम जान गए कि या दे आर गुड, दे आर गोइंग टू टेक केयर ऑफ अ डॉग, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम पीपल हु कम अप दे विल टेक केयर ऑफ अ डॉग, चाहे वो किबल खिला दे या वेज खिला दे, कुछ भी खिला दे. The main thing is if we don't know the personality of the even the puppy that we are sending, if we do not tell the puppy is scared of going out, scared of big people or scared of women, scared of men, there are many other things which you don't tell them. So if these things you are not open to the pet parents, क्योंकि आगे जाके ना वो गिल्ट रह जाता है कि हमने वो बताया नहीं, वो आगे जाके पेरेंट्स भी हमें बताएंगे. So it is like building a
वो
relationship on
backfire
stall.
होता है. वो हमेशा backfire होता है. So always
Because I've seen it. Yeah, that is the thing.
In fact, like one other issue that always, I'm sure you guys also must have faced it, like where everyone wants like a 45-day-old pup. Like this is
Always, yeah.
literally everyone's
जितना छोटा हो उतना
request.
अच्छा.
That
बिल्कुल.
this is too
That's
big.
why I was actually waiting for Richa to talk. So, like,
Okay.
both Aditya and Imran are doing a lot of adoptions, but that's like for puppies and for kittens. And Richa is sending home like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and sometimes even
11 years
10-year-olds
old.
and 11-year-olds. We've had like the last time I spoke to one of her adoption people, and they had taken home a 10-year-old who was an absolute bully. Like they took home a beagle and who was an absolute bully, and like they were like so close to like being like, oh my god, हमने किसको उठा लिया, like क्या शैतान है ये. So and I completely agree with what they also said about not having a lot of chances with adult dogs or cats, and that's something that I've also seen firsthand, that there no one wants to take home a 2-year-old. Everybody wants to take home a puppy, but they don't realize just how much more work it
Work.
is,
Puppies
you know,
are,
to like, yeah, puppies are, or even kittens are. There's like so much that goes into it. So if you're not going to be committed, and if you're not going to be around, you know, to actually train the dog or the puppy or the kitten, then you are going to face issues much later that are going to start cropping up.
True.
Richa, you want to talk about your process?
Yeah. So I only and only work with senior dogs, adult dogs, and dogs with temperamental issues. So my first thing, whenever people message me, I that we want to adopt a dog. We heard about you that you do adoption. We want to adopt a puppy. छूटते ही मैं तो लिख देती हूँ. I don't work with puppies. I only work with adult dogs and senior dogs. If you are interested, we can talk ahead. आधे भाग जाते हैं, जो रह जाता है उसको फिल्टर हो जाते हैं वो वहीं पे.
That's a good filter.
So my process is whenever I get it. So I have this very simple logic. I don't take a lot of dogs at one point of time. Maximum 5 dogs. I limit myself to 5 dogs because A, I'm not running some NGO. B, everything goes from my pocket. So I have to be very careful about what cases I'm taking. I would prefer spending my energy and time on a dog who has absolutely no hope, who can stay at my place as long as the dog wants to stay. Okay. So that's my philosophy. I do one dog at a time. I'll pick up one dog. I will do the adoption, send the dog, and then I pick up the second dog. That's how I work. First thing I do whenever the dog comes to me, I send them for the vet visits. We do the blood test. We do if the X-rays are required, we do the X-rays. I get the deworming, vaccination, new sterilization. I just don't send any of my dogs without sterilization for a lot of reasons. But then one is I don't trust people. कि करवाएंगे या नहीं. Simple सी बात है. It's not about that they will not get it done. It's just that I know that people are very scared of the word called surgery. मतलब सुनते ही डर जाते हैं वो लोग कि दर्द तो होगा हमारे बच्चे को, उसको ऐसा हो जाएगा. So I understand it's a sentimental thing from their point, so I get it done myself कि भाई तुमसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा, मैं ही करा दे. Most of my dogs, they have medical issues. They have some of the other medical issues. They have aggression issues. So I sort that out. Like abhi.
For the ones who are listening to us, we are having like a dog on screen right now, and all our attention is on Richa for it.
Yeah. So I prefer to. So these dogs, whenever currently I have a Alsatian. This is an example. I named him Brutus. So Brutus is really sick. Like he's running temperature 106, from past 4 days. He was not eating. 106 temperature hai uska. So the priority is to fix him up. At least health-wise, first fix him up. And I know because he has temperamental issues, so I'm going to spend another 2 months of mine, to get him trained. So that I know कि अगर मैंने इसके पूंछ पे touch किया तो काटेगा क्या. This is the reason why I do it. I keep the dog with me for a very long time so that I know अगर मैंने उसको यहाँ touch किया तो काटेगा क्या, यहाँ किया तो क्या snap मारेगा, यहाँ किया तो क्या करेगा मुझे, So that when people, I am sure कि हाँ ठीक है अभी ये हो गया. Like I had this indie, his name is Shai. Okay, I kept him with me for 15 months. 15 months at my place to train him कि भाई तू रोड पे तो जा नहीं सकता, तेरे को रहना तो तेरे को घर में ही है. अब तू रह, अब तू केनल में रह, अब तू सीख कि कैसे खाना खाना है, कैसे वॉक पे जाना है. So I leash trained him, I toilet trained him, and then when I felt 15 months later, 1.5 साल बाद कि हाँ अभी ये ready हो गया जाने के लिए, then I put up his poster appeal. So now here I come. If I feel the dog is like shy or the dog has less exposure of a home, so what I do, I put them in a foster home so that they get an idea how it likes to live in a house. घर वालों के साथ कैसे रहते हैं, routine क्या होता है. So every house is a very similar routine. In Indian household का routine बड़ा simple होता है. हम सुबह उठते हैं, वॉक पे जाते हैं, चाय पीते हैं. एवरी इंडियन हाउस, मिडिल क्लास हर घर के इंडियन हाउस का ये रूटीन है. ओके, सो आई try to sofa pe baithna hai, nahi baithna hai, all this, no? All these things, I give an idea to the dog that how it likes to be in a house. And then when I feel, okay, the dog is ready, like Chai was like really scared of going out for walks, street पे. He was scared of the lift. लिफ्ट जब मैं घुसने में उसको डर लगता था. अभी हर कोई अपार्टमेंट में रह रहा है. एवरीबॉडी इज नॉट लिविंग इन यू नो बंगलो की गार्डन है और तुम छुट्टा नाचो. नहीं हो सकता. लिफ्ट में तो जाना पड़ेगा ना. 12 माला थोड़े उतर के तुम्हारे लिए आएगा और चढ़ेगा. So that idea of getting into a lift, all these small things, you know, which people ignore, we put an effort to get the dog used to of it. Abhi he got used to of it, then I started putting the post ki now he's ready, he has to go home. All this work we do so that the dog is absolutely prepared. And when I put up a post, I write it down ki the dog has this issue, dog has medical issue, the dog is scared, the dog is, you know, has temperament issue. If you touch him here on his back, he will snap. If you touch him when he's eating, he has food aggression, which we are working on. So all these things, very point blank, you write it down. So that people are not, you know, लोगों को ये नहीं लगना चाहिए कि अरे घर जाके सरप्राइज, अरे ये तो काट लिया, हमको तो बताया नहीं था. No, you prepare somebody. And when people read, no. So I write it down in bullet pointers. I want a house like this. So that आधा filter वही हो जाता है. आधे लोग आते ही नहीं है. जो आते हैं वो genuinely interested होते हैं. And there, you know, when people message me, I have a questionnaire, I prepared. You tell me your name, age. What is your age? I have nothing against bachelors. I've given my dogs to bachelors and, you know, live-in couples also. But then it's just that the vibe. So the questionnaire has, you know, basic information where, you know, you tell me your age, you tell me which city you are from, how many people in the house, if there are kids, age kya hai kids ki, where the dog will be allowed, where the dog will not be allowed. Inside the house, the dog gonna stay. Outside, the dog gonna stay. The dog will be allowed in the kitchen on the sofa or not. These basic questions, you know, where you get an idea कि घर कैसा, you know, इसको खाना क्या मिलेगा, like what kind of food you can provide. So उसमें भी लिखा हुआ है veg, non-veg, kibble. So all these things, questionnaire, I push it. I don't engage in any conversation with anybody who write it down. I want to adopt your dog that you have posted. I just post the questionnaire that you fill up this questionnaire, give it back to me, I'll get back to you. उसमें मतलब 70% वहां filter हो गया. फिर जो बचते हैं एक दो, उससे you talk, you have your, you know, conversation. Again, what I have written in the post, I tell them on my conversation on the phone कि ये है, this is my experience, this is long the dog has been with me, and I don't put my dogs for adoption before 1 month. I make sure एक महीना कुत्ता मेरे पास रहे so that I know what exactly the dog is, because, you know, every rescue dog has a decompress period where 14-15 days you will not even realize कि कुत्ते का कोई problem भी है. The moment the dog gets settled down ना, उसका exact personality बाहर आता है. And then, you know, अरे ये तो बहुत ही बदतमीज है, इसको तो ऐसा घर चाहिए जहाँ पे इसको भगाए. You know, if the dog comes sick, you like, अरे ये तो कितना बेचारा है. If the dog is sick, you know, you take him to the vet visit, the dog will snap. तो तुम अरे ये तो बहुत aggressive है. But the dog is sick. Understand? Like if when I am sick, मुझे तो मतलब सर भी दर्द होता है ना, तो मेरे पति को मैं ऐसा 5 किलोमीटर दूर रखती हूँ कि आना नहीं, तू बिल्कुल नहीं. यही सब फेंक कर मारूंगी जो हाथ आएगा. So imagine a dog who is sick. He's definitely gonna snap. Imagine a kitten who is sick, yaar, Aditya. She or he will definitely snap. So all these things are, all these pointers, you know, after you have that animal with you for a month, तब समझ में आता है कि इसको घर कैसा चाहिए. Then you look, then I start looking for the house. फिर मैं लिखती हूँ. सारा जो है ना, इतना तामझाम ना, वो पोस्ट में ही खत्म हो जाता. आधे लोग वहीं से काका होते, अरे इस कुत्ते को तो यार HD इसमें तो बड़ा महंगा लगता होगा. उसमें मैं लिखती हूँ, मुझे सिर्फ नॉन वेजिटेरियन डाइट वाला घर ही चाहिए. मेरे कुत्ते को ना किबल खिलाओगे ना ग्रेन खिलाओगे, उसको सिर्फ नॉनवेज चाहिए. वहीं आधे चले जाते हैं, हम तो पनीर खिलाते हैं, जाओ.
Actually, my process is completely different when it comes to speaking to people. So I don't do the questionnaire because I personally, first of all, when you put out a post, in my experience, nobody reads only anything. Like how much ever you write bhashan, I don't know if you ever noticed on my page, I don't
yeah.
bother with captions. I write anything in my captions just to prove a point that captions don't work. So I write like literally very basic information. And then also when you write everything, then also people will be like, where is this dog from? And you'll clearly write location Mumbai only. Then also you'll get a message that can we adopt in Belgaum or I don't know, like Bangalore. Right? Like I get, and it always happens, especially when it's a
Yeah.
cute this thing. And obviously we're asking people to share. So I always have like a set people that I'm like, tagging. So you'll always get people like, I want to adopt this, but I'm in this city. Can it be possible? Can you send? I answer those people also. I'm like, will you pay to get the puppy there? It'll cost me around 15,000 rupees. They say, nahi yaar, we can't adopt. We can't pay. So I said that then I can't send. Like, how can I pay from my pocket? If you're ready to pay, I'll send the puppy. But I know, matlab, like, it's just a way of telling them, ke, but I actually entertain literally everybody, even those people who reply, I want dog. So, like, because you never know, like some people, I always feel that some people might just be poor at communication. So I give everyone one shot, like, okay, they'll be like, I want dog. So I'll send them that post. This dog or this dog is there. Like I'll send them because it takes like 10 seconds maybe to send the post from my page. And then they'll be like, kuch aur hai. Then I'm like, okay, chal. Like, these guys are not serious. Like then so that's how, like, but I speak to everyone. And then I will like, then like, of course, you get to know that who's serious, who's not serious. And then I will like take the conversation ahead. And then all these questionnaire wala points, I ask them on the phone, like very, very, very pyar se. Like I actually explain to them that why I'm asking these questions, because they feel like it's too personal. They feel like how are you asking me these things? It's none of your business. So this is what I have felt. Like some people have actually got put off also that, oh, why are you asking me this? This is like none of your concern. We've had a dog. You don't trust us. So I'm like, so now I've just started explaining to them that why I'm having these conversations or why I'm asking these questions. So I'm always like, passing the, like, I always said that you guys are like really sweet. Other people are like really bad. So I just want to make sure I've had bad experience. So this is like always my strategy.
Wow. He's giving us a strategy.
I will tell you what Aditya is saying. It's true. I'll tell you one. So last year I put up a post about two Labradors who got like really close to each other at my retreat where I keep my dogs. Okay, it's a halfway home for dogs. So I put up a joint adoption post for them. So this gentleman, he messaged me that as usual I have this process that you send me the answers and so I sent the questionnaire and this gentleman messaged, इतना तो बच्चा अडॉप्ट करने के टाइम पे भी क्वेश्चन
Exactly, that's what they asked. They're like, no, I've got a other thing there. I was like, something like शादी में भी इतने क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते हैं लोग, आप इतना पूछ रहे हो. हम like, अरे
फिर मुझे बोला, मैंने उसको लिखा, मैंने कहा, do you know I've actually applied to Kara where there are a lot of other things they ask, so I am not asking you anything else. फिर कहता, why are you asking my personal information? This is very personal information to me.
Exactly. So
where I've asked for your bank account detail, किधर डाका डालने जा रही हूँ मैं तुम्हारे लोकेशन को लेके कि तुम थाने में रहते हो, तो थाने में कहाँ रहते हो, मैंने पूछा तुमसे नहीं ना, तुम्हारा कौन से बैंक में तुम्हारा खाता, वहां गई थी मैं डाका डालने, क्या पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन है ये.
No, really, like it's really bad with this questionnaire thing. No, it really goes wrong sometimes, I feel. Like I totally get it. Like, sorry. Yeah.
No, so the reason, because I have been doing adoption for past 6 years. Okay. And I have got like, so all the Freegals of the laboratory rescue beagles of Gujarat, I do their release and the rehoming. I've got, so itna sabki hone ke baad na, I don't have time to entertain. So for my mental peace na.
Same thing. जो मेरे पास ना टाइम है ना पेशेंस है. Now at 5:30 I have a meeting to go. एक puppy जा रहा है घर. So after 12 leads, this was the lead which I finalized finally. I still haven't spoken to them on phone. Only आज दोपहर में मैंने बात की. After 2 weeks. Because लोग डालने के बाद WhatsApp में कैपिटल्स में डालता हूँ कि प्लीज मुझे सिर्फ WhatsApp करो, no calls. There are still people who call up. Hello, इमरान कुत्ता है? नहीं देना नहीं मतलब. I actually don't have time. Immediately they ask, I send the pictures of the puppies I have. If they say मुझे ये कुत्ता चाहिए, I don't ask them anything else. I have a question of 30 questions. I straight away send them that form. If you have time and patience to fill that form, तो आगे बात करो. नहीं है तो no problem. The dog जाना है घर तो जाएगा. I firmly believe if a dog is destined to go home, the dog will go.
हाँ
चाहे वो स्पेशली एबल्ड हो, चाहे एक लेग हो, चाहे कुछ ना हो, जाता ही है. क्योंकि
हाँ.
मेरे घर में भी 5 आए ना. I also have an amputee at home, so I know.
मेरे
I
घर
never
में
talk.
10 है ना.
देखो मैं नहीं बात करता. आज दोपहर में पहले ही बात किया. 5:30 वो आ रहे हैं. I pick up a neutral point. I don't take them where the dog is. This dog currently lives with their mom in
हाँ.
a caretaker पे है. वो थोड़ा आउटस्कर्ट पे है. मुझे नहीं ले जाना फैमिली को वहां पे कि देख के ये कुत्ता कहाँ से लेके आ रहा है, क्या कर रहा है. I have shown them video and pictures and I have told that the dog lives here. So I call them at a neutral point. This dog then I have to take now. अभी जाऊंगा मैं 5:30 एंटी टिक विक सब पेरेंट के सामने ही करवाऊंगा कि उनको ना लगे कि ये कुत्ता तो ऐसा दे दिया, फिर ये कौन सा टिक पकड़ लिया, इसको क्या हो गया. आई स्ट्रेट अवे कॉल देम टू अ वेट हॉस्पिटल. देन आई लेट देम टॉक टू वेटनेरियन कि अब ये आपका हो गया, ये कुत्ता आपका. नाउ यू टॉक, आपको क्या करना है. बट एनीवन हु इज टेलिंग मी कि हम सिर्फ किबल खिलाएंगे, वेजिटेरियन खिलाएंगे फॉर्म में, फिनिश बाय. आई एम नॉट एट ऑल गोइंग टू एंटरटेन यू. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक. अगर आपके पास टाइम ही नहीं है, वो सिर्फ इंपॉर्टेंट 30 क्वेश्चंस. आई आस्क वेदर आपके पास गेट है घर पे, क्या आप कुत्ते को बांधोगे, नहीं बांधोगे. जब कोई इलेक्ट्रिशियन आएगा, गेस्ट आएगा, तो आप क्या करोगे कुत्ते के साथ. क्या कोई फेस्टिवल होगा तो सारे लोग गेट डालेंगे. आई हैव दिस 5 सबसेट्स. इवन इफ यू डोंट हैव टाइम एंड पेशेंस टू आंसर द 5 सबसेट क्वेश्चंस इन गूगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स, तो आप क्या कुत्ते को रखोगे सुबह जब वो भौंकेगा, रात को भौंकेगा. तो दैट इज व्हाट आई पर्सनली फील. आई कैन
I
फिल्टर इट.
totally agree with that. I totally agree with, like, if they don't have the patience to answer those questions, then,
No.
Yeah.
yeah, but the only
That
difference
is
is that I do it on call, like ask
Ah.
them, and like that's the
Very
only
good.
difference.
That is what there are many people who do. वो मैं पर्सनल जैसे रिचा को भी नहीं पसंद कि बात नहीं करना यार मुझे किसी से, क्योंकि there are many unnecessary things which I feel I have so many things to do that I can't answer them. क्योंकि चीज होती है सिर्फ कुत्ते को अडॉप्ट करना, वो छोड़ के वो बहुत चीजें पूछते कि आप क्यों उस कुत्ते को अडॉप्ट करवा रहे हो, आप क्या करते हो, आपके
हाँ.
पास कौन सा कुत्ता है, कुत्ते को क्यों
हाँ.
लाया आपने. नहीं करना यार इतना सब आंसर.
I had this
We thought
conversation.
only women get this conversation, but Imran, thank you for getting this into
अरे
life.
no
I
no
had
no,
this
it's
one
very difficult.
conversation where this woman asked me, तो आपके पास कौन कौन से कुत्ते हैं? मैं बोला,
अरे,
मेरे
है.
पास ये कुत्ते हैं. कितने साल के हैं? मैंने कहा इतने साल के हैं. उसमें से कोई एक दोगे क्या मुझे? मैंने कहा चाटा खाओगी क्या?
No, it's actually difficult. What
I've
I've
had-
found. No,
I've had a person asking me, can we see the mother and father of the pups? I'm like, I was like, yeah, what are you like? What do you mean by can I see the mother and father? And I asked also,
You
like,
should
why
tell
do
them
you
I'm running an adoption, not a matrimony center.
Exactly. No,
No,
I was like, why do you want to see the?
no. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So most of
I
the
know, even I
adoption-
asked them actually.
so most of the like
I
when
asked them and they were like, they were like, they literally, and people have no filter, I've noticed. So they will literally be like, ye indies to bade hoke bahut gande lagte hai. So we want to see how the mother is. So that we know how the pup looks when it's like literally. This is literally what that person told me.
भाई मेरी मम्मी सुन लेंगे ना, वो ऊपर से आके मुझे मारेंगी. वो तो बड़ी सुंदर थी, मैं ऐसे
No.
क्यों?